The corner table at Moonbeam Cafe had become Elena Rodriguez's unofficial second office, where she conducted phone meetings while snow fell beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows. At 29, she had transformed Rodriguez Financial Group from a small startup into a multinational investment firm, but she still preferred working in cozy spaces rather than sterile conference rooms. Tonight's emergency call with Tokyo investors was running longer than expected, and Elena noticed the cafe gradually emptying as closing time approached. She was deep in conversation about currency fluctuations when a small tap on her shoulder interrupted her concentration. "Excuse me, beautiful lady," whispered a tiny voice. Elena looked down to see a little girl with golden curls peeking over the edge of her table. The child appeared to be about 3 years old, wearing a brown winter coat and clutching a small teddy bear that had clearly been loved extensively. "I need to call you back in 5 minutes," Elena told her investors, ending the call and turning her full attention to the unexpected visitor. "Hello there," Elena said softly. "What is your name, sweetheart?" "I am Lucy," the little girl replied, climbing onto the chair across from Elena without invitation. "That is Mr. Fuzzy," she said, holding up her teddy bear. "Where are your parents, Lucy?" Elena asked, scanning the nearly empty cafe for signs of worried adults. "My daddy is over there." Lucy pointed toward the counter where a young man in work clothes was intensely discussing something with the cafe manager. "He is trying to fix the big coffee machine because it is broken." Elena could see the man gesturing at various parts of an industrial espresso machine, clearly engaged in some kind of repair work. "What about your mommy?" Elena asked gently. Lucy's bright expression dimmed slightly. "I do not have a mommy anymore. She got very sick and had to go live with the angels. Daddy says she watches me from the sky, but I wish I could see her." Elena felt her heart squeeze as she looked at this motherless child who spoke about profound loss with the matter-of-fact acceptance that children somehow manage. "That must make you feel sad sometimes," Elena said compassionately. "Sometimes," Lucy nodded solemnly. "Especially when I see other girls with their mommies at the park or when Daddy tries to braid my hair but it gets all tangled." Lucy studied Elena's face with the intense curiosity of childhood. "You have kind eyes and pretty hair like I think a mommy would have. And you smell like vanilla cookies." Elena smiled at the observation. "Thank you, Lucy. You seem very smart and brave. Can I ask you something important?" Lucy said, leaning forward with serious intent. "Of course, sweetheart. I do not have a mama. Can I spend a day with you, We could do fun things like paint our nails and have tea parties, and maybe you could teach me how to make my hair pretty like yours." Elena felt overwhelmed by the innocent request and the trust this little girl was placing in a complete stranger. "Lucy, that sounds wonderful, but we would need to ask your daddy first." "Ask me what?" came a voice from behind Elena. She turned to see Lucy's father approaching, wiping grease from his hands with a coffee shop towel. He appeared to be in his late 20s, with kind brown eyes and an expression of mild concern about his daughter's social initiative. "Daddy!" Lucy exclaimed. "This is the nice lady I told you about. Her name is..." Lucy paused and looked at Elena expectantly. "Elena," she supplied, standing to shake the man's hand. "Elena Rodriguez." "Jake Morrison," he replied. "I am sorry if Lucy has been bothering you. She has a tendency to adopt strangers." "She has not been bothering me at all," Elena assured him. "We were having a lovely conversation. Lucy was telling me about wanting to spend time with someone who could do mama things with her." Jake's expression grew soft and slightly sad. "Lucy, we talked about this. You cannot just ask random people to be your pretend mommy." "But Daddy, she is not random," Lucy protested. "She has a nice smile and she did not tell me to go away when I talked to her." Elena found herself drawn to both the child's earnestness and the father's obvious devotion despite his exhaustion. "Jake, what do you do for work?" Elena asked. "I repair commercial kitchen equipment," Jake replied. "Cafes, restaurants, anywhere that has industrial appliances that break down. It is not glamorous, but it pays the bills and I can usually bring Lucy with me to simpler jobs." "That sounds like skilled work," Elena said genuinely. "And Lucy seems very well behaved for someone who spends time in work environments." "She is amazing," Jake said, ruffling his daughter's curls. "Though I know she misses having female influence in her life. I try my best, but there are some things I just do not know how to do." Lucy tugged on Elena's coat sleeve. "See? Daddy knows I need a lady friend. Could you maybe be my lady friend?" Elena looked at this father and daughter who were clearly devoted to each other but struggling with the gaps left by loss. "Jake, if you would be comfortable with it, I would love to spend some time with Lucy. Maybe we could start with a few hours this weekend." Jake looked surprised. "That is very kind, but you do not know us. Why would you want to spend your weekend with someone else's child?" "Because Lucy asked me to," Elena said simply. "And because I think she could teach me some things about what really matters in life." That Saturday, Elena discovered that her executive organizational skills translated perfectly to managing tea parties, art projects, and the complex negotiations involved in choosing the perfect nail polish color with a 3-year-old. "Miss Elena," Lucy said as they sat on Elena's living room floor surrounded by coloring books and crayons, "do you think my mommy in heaven would like you?" "I think your mommy would love anyone who makes you happy," Elena replied, helping Lucy color within the lines of a butterfly's wings. "You make me really happy," Lucy said seriously. "And you make Daddy smile more too." Over the following months, Elena found herself restructuring her business empire around Lucy's nap time schedule and preschool pickup times. She discovered that the leadership skills that made her successful in finance applied beautifully to managing bedtime routines and mediating disputes between stuffed animals. "Elena," Jake said one evening as they watched Lucy perform an elaborate dance for her collection of dolls, "I need you to know that what you have given us is beyond anything I could have asked for." "Jake, Lucy has given me perspective I never knew I needed," Elena replied. "She taught me that all the money in the world means nothing if you do not have people to love." "And what about us?" Jake asked quietly. "What we have been building together." Elena looked at Jake, seeing not just Lucy's devoted father but the man who had trusted her with his most precious treasure. "I think we have been building a family." 6 months later, as Elena officially adopted Lucy and married Jake in a small ceremony where Lucy insisted on wearing a princess dress and carrying both Mr. Fuzzy and the wedding rings, Elena reflected on how a chance meeting in a coffee shop had given her everything she never knew she wanted. "Mama Elena," Lucy said during their honeymoon breakfast, "thank you for saying yes when I asked if I could spend a day with you. Thank you for teaching me that the best investments are not in stocks and bonds, but in the people we choose to love," Elena replied, holding Lucy close while Jake wrapped them both in his embrace. Sometimes, Elena realized, the most important business deals happen not in boardrooms, but in coffee shops where lonely hearts find each other over broken espresso machines and teddy bears named Mr. Fuzzy.